Before we get started, man, why don't you go ahead and push the little red button right there called subscribe. It's free. And you don't want to miss none of this good content we dropping on the Power Hour with Houff Gill every single Tuesday on 107.9 The Fan. We live, baby.
You're listening to the Houff and Gill Show with your host Tyler Houff and Earl Gill on 107.9 The Fan.
What's going on, Haze?
Oh, not much. How are y'all? Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you joining us, man. Appreciate you joining us. If you don't know who Haze is a social media recruiting expert for On3 Sports. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about what you do and kind of introduce yourself to everybody. Haze.
For sure. So basically what I do is I'm the guy that makes these like top school commitment edits, decommitment edits, just any form of announcement that a recruit makes. I'm pretty much the guy that makes all of those, and I make the edit, and then I'll interview the recruit and write a little article along with it. So I just kind of cover college recruiting in a way that's honestly never been done before, in my opinion.
So what got you into that? What made you want to? I know you're fairly young, so I won't tell your age in case you want to tell everybody your age. But yeah. What got you into that, man? What was something that kind of drew your interest into that area?
So I mean, I was a younger kid. I remember seeing like cool pictures on Instagram and stuff, and just kind of thought I could do it as well. And then I started doing these edits, and at the time they were not the best, but I enjoyed doing it because I've always been a big fan of sports. And I just kind of started off doing like pro players for fun, no one would ever see it, stuff like that. So then one day I got the idea to start doing players from the high school that I was going to attend. And I made a couple of those. And, about a year later, I started getting a little bit better, but it wasn't, like at the level I'm at now. But anyway, my work started to reach, more people across the state. And then I made some edits for this guy that was like a high 4-star in Louisiana. His name's Darius Geis. I made a ton of edits for him throughout his whole, high school senior year. And he ended up going to the Army All-American game, and he won MVP over there. And he was posting a lot of my edits throughout the week, and then I just started noticing all these people from the game reaching out to me and asking for edits as well, and I would do them for them as well. So like just from that point on, just like everybody saw that I was doing them, and I guess it kind of became like a little, if he's doing them for all these other top recruits, then I should probably hit him up too. Just kind of something along those lines.
So Haze, how does it feel to be the gatekeeper of college football? I know a few of them, and you're one of them.
To be honest with you, I never really think about it like in terms of like for me. Honestly, since I started doing this, it's just been about, loving the sport of football, and having something nice for a player to post whenever they announce their, big decision. One of the biggest moments in their lives. And it means a lot to them to have something, unique to announce their decision with. So it is pretty cool, knowing where a lot of players are going before it's like really announced, a lot of big time players. And it means a lot to me that, these players trust me to tell me where they're going and stuff like that, because that's what this whole thing is based around. Like trust, because if I would, in the 7-8 years I guess you could say I've been doing this, if I would have like told or ruined somebody's commitment one time, I would not be in the position I am today. So yeah, it's just all about doing it all for the recruit And it's just never really been about me. You know what I mean?
So another question I got, Haze, is like, how does it feel to be the guy for graphics in college football? There's a lot of imitators. I know them too. You know, and you have completely washed that market. No one can imitate you. No one can, you know, there's a certain look that your graphics have that are distinct, and people try to emulate that, but they can't. It's not a Haze Faucet edit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how does it feel to be the prototype, but also have a product that's so distinct that no one can emulate or duplicate?
No, it's amazing for sure, because, you know, as I started getting bigger and bigger, like you said, I started to notice a lot of people trying to copy the style that I made up, and like you said, they couldn't really duplicate it. But you know, as time's has gone on, I have like made a lot of adjustments and tried to, you know, create styles that people cannot like directly copy, you know what I mean? But it's pretty cool to me to be in the position to where, you know, these younger kids, or maybe even people older than me, are inspired by what I do in my work, and they try to do something similar. And yeah, I just think it's pretty cool.
How does it feel? So schools don't try to poach you? Because you have made digital content departments in the SEC work harder. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I have. And you make them work harder, and they try to emulate your work, but they can't. Like I stated. So like, have you thought about jumping to a school, throwing a price tag out there? Because what you have is worth a lot, you know.
Man, I don't know. As far as like going to school and stuff, because I really do enjoy what I do as far as like breaking news with recruiting and stuff. And I know if I would join like a college staff, I wouldn't be able to kind of do the same things, like be in communication with like any recruit, stuff like that. But like, I don't know if you knew this, but like 2 summers ago, I was offered to go work on LSU's recruiting staff, and they ended up not really like giving me any help financially speaking, which ended up working out perfect for me, because I mean, now here I am today with this amazing job with On3, you know, pretty much making a living off of doing what I love the most. But futuristic wise, like I said, I really do enjoy what I do, but I mean, I would be kind of interested to see if a school would like offer me something, and depending on the deal and stuff like that, it just have to be something that I have to think about heavily.
So I actually know that guy that you're talking about that took that LSU job, and you're right. Once he started that, he quit making edits for us. And yeah.
Story for the other day, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I do have a question. My question is, what would probably be the craziest recruiting story that you've had to deal with over your time as being a recruiting expert?
Man, there's so many. Probably off the top of my head, the main one would be Travis Hunter going to Jackson State. I mean, he didn't directly like hit me up for the graphic, but I did make a lot of his stuff throughout his recruiting process. But that morning, whenever, you know, the whole college football world figured out that he was going to Jackson State, flipping from Florida State going to Jackson State, it was just like, I don't know, just like jaw dropping, because you never think the number 1 player in the country would flip and go to HBCU and just create this whole new, I guess you could say, path for top recruits. Because, you know, like a lot of guys would put like HBCU in their top school, and you never really saw any of those top guys choosing the HBCU school. And I just think it was really big for HBCUs and the culture for Travis Hunter to ultimately flip there and lead, you know, further recruits to make a similar decision.
Do you get tired of kids decommitting? And you having to make a different edit?
Honestly, I don't. I mean, things happen as far as like the recruiting process. You just never know what will happen. And I'm just here to do my job, here to make them stuff, to announce their announcements and stuff like that. So I don't really get tired of it. It's just kind of part of the job,
What's your opinion on the NIL deal? I know you do, obviously, with amateur athletics, guys that are amateur athletes, but headed towards being collegiate and professional athletes. And some of them are actually dealing with NIL situations being brought up, around them or whatever the case may be. So what's your outlook on the whole NIL deal from the outside looking in?
In my opinion, there's a lot of good that comes from it, and at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that, is kind of bad. Like, I 100% agree that college student athletes should be able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness, because, I mean, they really do bring a ton of money for the university. But at the same time, I think there needs to be some rules and regulations as far as NIL when it comes to recruiting, because, a lot of schools use NIL. They kind of like, how can I say it? They kind of like take advantage of it, I guess you could say, and they like buy recruits with NIL. So I think there needs to be some set rules. I mean, it just really, the bill was passed last year, so we're still fairly new in the space. But overall, I think it's good. You just gotta kind of fix and tweak some things.
So, a question I have for you. I ain't gonna lie, I got some 4 stars, Haze. How do we get a Haze Faucet edit? I need it. Tell me what we gotta do.
All right, so all you gotta do, honestly, just my biggest thing is like, you have to hit me up and give me like multiple days to a week in advance, because if you want something nice, then I can't just like whip something up real quick and make it look nice. You know what I mean? I have a lot of people waiting, so there's a waiting list, and then everything I do, I try to do it the highest quality as possible. So obviously that takes time. Plus I have a life outside of this. So yeah, I would just say just hit me up in advance, and that's the best way to get one.
So do you like pick and choose who you do, or is it just like, oh, I'm gonna do everybody? Or because I know you probably get overwhelmed with people hitting you up. So is it it's your decision on how do you decide on who you're gonna make graphics for?
Oh yeah, I usually like choose like obviously I prioritize the higher ranked guys first. But like, I try to get to as many people as possible as I can, and like we mentioned earlier, a lot of the times, some of the times that I can't get to the people that are like a little bit lower ranked, they'll usually hit up a few other graphic designers that do the same thing, and they're still able to get a graphic done. But I just really try to get to everybody. But like I said, it just have to hit me up in advance.
So I got 2 last questions, and now I'm done for real with you, Haze. So I'm gonna start going through Tyler to get these edits. We need them. Sure. First question: you were at OT7 in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
What player nationally that you didn't know of going into that weekend surprised you?
That's a good question.
Was it Draylon Miller from Silsbee? Nico from out there, the Tennessee commit?
Man,
Jonte Cooks for real?
Like as far as guys that I knew a lot of them out there, but like just seeing them play in person is like way different than just watching them on film.
Absolutely.
Like Nico, I knew going in there he was really good. Obviously, he's like a top 5 ranked player in the country, and just seeing him like sling the ball around is crazy. Like he wasn't there the first day, and I don't know if his team won or lost or tied, something like that, but he came the next day, and like he didn't have the best talent around him, and just to see him like lead his team, like they beat South Florida Express. That was the most stacked team there. They won the championship. They had like probably 6 or 7 5-stars and multiple top 100 players. Like they were just stacked. And Nico like completely carved apart their secondary, and they won like 28-6 or something like that. So that was just really impressive.
I didn't want to put you on. I'm not gonna put you on the spot because you live in Louisiana and he lives in Louisiana, so we don't want no problem.
No, you can say I don't care.
Huh?
What is it? What's up?
Is Nico the number 1 quarterback in the country?
Man.
From what you just saw?
Well, like from what I saw there, I believe he was like because there was him, Dante Moore, Malachi Nelson, Jaden Davis. He's a top.
Miles Jackson.
Yeah, all those guys were there. But I can't really say like a quarterback's better than another quarterback solely based off of 7-on-7. You know what I mean? Because it's completely different than like a regular game of football. So as far as the 7-on-7 tournament went, OT7, I believe that Nico had the best performance out of like all the quarterbacks there. But that's not just straight out saying he was the best quarterback there, if that makes sense.
Okay.
How does the recruiting rankings finish this year for you? That's my last question for you. How you think 2023's recruiting rankings gonna finish out?
As far as like player or like team?
Team wise.
I mean, obviously, you always got to have Bama, Ohio State, Georgia. Those schools are always going to be in the top 5, top 3. Like right now, Bama's class isn't. I forgot about A&M too. A&M's going to be up there for sure. It's still early for a lot of those classes right now. Like you see, like Cincinnati and Northwestern, like those schools have like top 5 classes right now. That's not how it's gonna end, because a lot of top guys are still uncommitted. But I definitely see like Georgia. This is no order, by the way. Like Georgia, Alabama, A&M, Notre Dame, Ohio State. And that would probably be like off the top of my head, like my top 5, as well as USC. But it's just kind of too far in advance to predict what I think the order will be, just based off of the players that commit to the schools.
We surely appreciate you joining us, man, virtually on the Power Hour. Hopefully we can get you back on again soon,
No, for sure.
But no, that's all love, man. Appreciate you, man, and much love to you along the journey, brother.
Appreciate that, for real.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see y'all.
All right.